everything up until now was just warm up to the Glam Racing team. This is where the race starts. I don't think the One Move esports team would be too happy about that though. I also think, Yusuf, that sorry for just me restarting everything, and it actually does take a while to click all the things that I had to click, and one of the things in the process was actually opening TeamSpeak on the actual streaming machine as well. Just got to that now, so I don't think people have had audio before we came on right now, but that's Ludovic Dackery in the pit lane, and as you said, they lost the rear wing in an incident while we were off air.
Yeah, as Pete said, we have had a couple of issues, but it's all fine now. Okay, so I've got news. Dylan Klaver is into the pit. Okay, so thought for a second Roland Zux was pitting, but Dylan Klaver was not, which would have meant that the LMP2 number 15 is going a little bit further in their strategy. But that is not the case. They're still on the same strats. Dylan Klaver struggling to keep up with Roland Zux. And well, he's dropped to, well, I think practically 30 seconds behind.
That's the 95 car off again.
Yep. Roland Zux will reclaim the lead. Honestly, I think Dylan Klaver, I don't know if the UCS Motorsport cars are like this period because their pit box is slightly later down the pit lane. They just get to be in the lead of the race just for a very short moment. And that is until Roland Zux pit stop finishes and they get back on their way.
I'm done clicking stuff now, Yusuf, and everything is now up and running again, including the possibility to later get you and Ewan on camera as well.
Ooh. Well, hopefully Ewan should be back in an hour or so. I do need to start using my my favourite, or I say my favourite, the term, the double socially awkward corner.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to do that.
That's Lee Russell now in second place, 2 laps ahead of the 26 car now. They're actually up there now, Yusuf. Well, if we've seen people lose more than 10 laps during these resets and rejoins. That means if Unison does anything severe, that Glam Racing car is really close to being in it with a chance to win GT3 now if anything funky happens. But then again, it might as well happen to the Glam Racing car.
So Dylan Klaver is 32 seconds behind Roland Zux. I think he's actually gained a bit of time. Okay, no, never mind. It's ballooned back up to 38 seconds. So, honestly, right now, if you're the Deuces team manager, I mean, you hate to say it, but you're in a situation thinking, okay, when is Dylan getting out of the car? We need to get someone faster back in so he can close up to Roland Zutz at this race, because Dylan is struggling. It's not a nice thing to say, but it is the case, because the 15 Deuces had done such great work to close into the 95, and now over the course of an hour, what was a 10-second gap has now extended to 40 seconds, and it's not where Deuces want to be. Of course, a lot can still change, but it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for them.
They need to turn lower back in the car, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Turn lower. Who's the other driver that I always forget? I can't remember, but it was that other driver who was very, very fast and rapidly climbing up the order. No, it wasn't Nick Newcomer.
Here we go with the driver lineup. It's going to come on stream, or should be coming. There we go. So Luca Gray turn lower, Skabakis, and it's not Nick Newcomb this time around, so that's not correct. So that lineup isn't exactly correct, because Dylan Klaver isn't even in that lineup. Have they inherited Dylan Klaver from the GT car?
Have they... Wait, say that again?
Have they moved Dylan Klaver from the GT car into the LMP car?
Oh, they might have. I have. Now that you say that, I don't think I have seen Dylan Klaver in the LMP2 car before.
They
ditched
to
put Dylan Klaver
for this race.
I mean, okay, let's be honest. He's driving badly. Yeah, he's still going faster than Ramada Motorsports in the 22 of... Okay, maybe not faster than Gabor Hevesi. Gabor Hevesi is flying right now, but in a situation like this, he unfortunately isn't the man that Deuces need right now. Used to driving in the GT car, in the GTE class, but Deuces haven't entered a team, or haven't been able to get a team out on circuit for their GTE team, and well, trying to climb up the order. Oh, John has just reminded me, it's João Barbosa, the Deuces driver. Yeah, very, very quick actually. I think he was the one who was closing in onto the number 95, vast rate of knots.
That's just another facet of this endurance racing, where you have to balance your team as well, and everyone on the team really putting an effort in to try and make everybody equally fast, and getting to that compromise on the setup that makes the entire team perform at its best. It's a compromise that's, you need a lot of practice and testing before you can kind of conclude that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's at the end it's worth it. Kind of get the best average time during those 24 hours.
Well, ooh, that was a puff of dirt coming up from Deuces on the exit of the Fanias chicane. The gap is now over 40 seconds between Roland Zutz and Dylan Klaver. It's a rather large gap.
I'm not sure he needs to push that hard, because it does really look like he's pushing it really hard now. That's not going to work for the viaduct car on the outside there. Okay, that's going to work though. Late braking. Slight late braking mistake there. Might have been forced on by the viaduct car being as close as it was. But I'll tell you what, they are having a driver right now in the viaduct car that knows how to get that car moving. That car's suddenly down to the 201s.
The 201s, Roland Zutz, the fastest LMP2 at the moment. I know Gabo Hennessy was putting in some 201s not too long ago, but they have dropped off pace. Okay, so I forgot, Nuno Pinto's at the wheel, and Nuno Pinto is going green and starting to put in some fast laps, just like he did last time he was at the wheel of the Ramada Motorsport car.
They'll be looking to put more time on the gap to the 22. Now reduced to 4 laps, which is just about the amount of time you'll lose if you have to do a quick reconnect.
So Dylan Klaver's still dropping back. He's in the 204s. He's losing nearly 3 seconds a lap to Roland Zerks. Again, I feel horrible. I feel really bad saying it. But do you say, Dylan, we're pulling you from the car earlier, because at the end of the day, this is a race win they could be losing due to Dylan seemingly struggling to adjust to the LMP2 car. Again, used to driving in the GT car, very quick driver in the GT car, but the LMP2 just not seeming to suit his driving at the moment.
Well, as long as he can do it in a safe way, and there's no risk of him getting involved in incidents, losing a second a lap would still be acceptable, as long as it's a question of letting the other drivers rest. But the last one was a 205. He's been off in the gravel traps. He's not feeling great in that car, I bet you.
Well, also with Cyril Malbron jumping into the pits after losing his rear wing. That was one with esports car. They are back out on circuit, and they are 2 laps behind Lee Russell. Glam Racing up into second, and this would be their best result of the season, having last time out picked up a P3. They had 3 fourth place finishes in a row, then a P3 last time out at the Nürburgring, and now a P2. Is this a foreshadowing of a P1 at Le Mans, Peter?
I don't know, but just was paying more attention to Dylan Klaver here, trying to watch how he adjusts his lines now that he's on a clear lap, and he's much better adjusted this lap around, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing the lap time now. 2:03.3, yeah, that's more acceptable. He's getting in there. He might improve further, which then would put him in a place where at least he's not losing massive amounts of time anymore. Maybe just the question of him adjusting to the car.
But I mean, you'd have to think he had a lot of time to practice before the race. So he is in his second stint now in the Juice's car. He has got his times down into the 203s, so last time around he only lost a second to Roland Zux. Jimmy Nisler closing in onto the pair of them in the hypercar class, and Nuno Pinto going a little bit quicker than Dylan and Roland.
Well, he just woke up from a good night's sleep and got put into the car. It will be acceptable. Why he's just needing to find where the right knobs are in the car. But it's like, do the Glen Racing team have some kind of crystal ball where they sort of look into it and see the future, and that's how it works, and that was why they were so confident on getting into that P2?
Wait, say that again?
The Glam Racing team, do they have some kind of crystal ball where they're able to see the future? And was that why they were so confident on the YouTube chat talking about that?
Oh,
P2?
yeah, maybe. I mean, One Move Esports tend to find themselves in trouble every now and then. But I have just realised we passed the half-hour mark a while back. Shall we throw it to commercial break?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We'll be right back after this.
The Endurance E-Racing World Championship Round 5, the 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps is brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, League Gaming, Global Flix, Film Volt, ESTV, and Motorvision.tv.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
I believe Yusuf has a replay of what just happened milliseconds before we went to the commercial break.
Big news, and it is involving your former race leaders, Roland Zux, heading into the chicane. Take a listen. Engine dies. I don't think that was a double downshift.
No.
I think the engine just pops. I don't have any game sound, but I think he's in third, and when he's in third, the engine just goes.
Yes. Exactly.
He brings it to a stop around Malmedy.
That engine was just at the end of its lifetime. That was from consistently just slightly overusing the engine for the entire race. So,
However, this is good news now. Well, I mean, okay, it's not good news, but the good news, the silver lining for the 95 car is now they can abuse their engine because they've only got just under 3 hours to go. They can push like crazy to close in onto Dylan Clavel. And it also means that the pit stop cycle has been massively adjusted for them. They're no longer on the same cycle as Dylan Claver, and if they're lucky, they might have a splash and dash at the end, or maybe even one less pit stop to make, which could make this race very, very close come the end of proceedings.
they only lost a lap and a half.
That's not bad. They're 2 minutes from Dylan Claver, and we know they've been going faster than that Deuce's motorsport car. So let's see what they can do. But wow, late armor then.
I think we talked about this since 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, since already back then all the gaps were starting to look like, well, the only gap that was still within reach was the gap for the overall lead. But we talked about all the other gaps having to be decided by, overusing your engine is not really random, that's sort of the choice you make. Still, now, Glam Racing Car find themselves in second place now due to the 26 losing the rear wing. And suddenly now the Deuce's Motorsport is 1.5 lap out in front due to the 95 overusing their engine. So yeah, we really don't know what's going to happen, and the chance of any of the other teams experiencing the same and having overused their engine, if the engine hasn't popped at the 3 hour mark, it might be very close to going off as well, and the teams wouldn't even know how much they've been overusing the engine because there's no way to read out that data, so they don't know it. New incident report, car 22 and 57 on lap 547 in turn 6. Okay.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Wait a second, car 57. Okay, that's Nuno Pinto and Gabor Hevesi must have had some kind of controversy.
No. Well, Gabor Hevesi 3 laps on Nuno Pinto. 3 laps clear of the Prosim car.
Boom! Roland Sux is going for it so much, in fact, that he lost the rear end of the car out of the bus stop chicane.
Just to give you an idea as to how much Roland Sux is pushing, he took a second out of...
He lost the rear end and still did a 202.
Yeah, he gained a second on other in the first sector, 2 seconds in the middle sector. I don't quite know how much he gained in the final sector. It was the same times in the final sector, but yeah. He's pushing really hard right now. What is the gap between the pair of them? Roland Zurks, is he a lap down or is he... I think he's nearly laps down right now, which is not where he wants to be. So he's got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it.
Well, saying that, there's still 3 hours and 13 minutes left, so still a little shy of 2 Formula 1 Grand Prix left to do it.
And then after that, we've got the Formula 1 Grand Prix off to come.
Yeah, we do.
So now I saw actually recently on a stream, Peter, they had a thing where they got people in their Twitch chat so they had like a little robot around, and they had a mini game which was you've got to get the robot to find an object. So they got the robot in their studio, and it's controlled by people in the chat spamming like forward, left, right, and it controls a robot, which I thought was really, really awesome actually.
So how do we do something that's comparable to that?
Probably the same thing. You get a program that sees what's being the most common message in the chat, and that inserts a command through some form of program.
And that'll be the car that we're following then.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was like it was like a remote control car in the studio.
Yeah.
That like went around. So yeah,
if we want to do anything something that equates to that, we'll have people writing the number of a car in chat, and then on an average time space, if enough people write that number, then that will be the car that we will be following.
And we'll just say everyone will be putting in 17,000 because that's the number of the safety car. And people, I'll just give everyone a taste. That's what they can see.
Yeah.
That'll be beautiful.
Oh, that's the internet for you.
I don't think we need to remind everyone of boat face.
Still is a perfect name though.
It's such a good name. Well, it's like my mascot lion that I got. It ended up being called Lion McLaren Face, which again, don't leave it open to the internet. Give it a good name. Oh, so we've got Maria in the chat saying that she knows what happened. The one move car. Oh, she was asleep. Okay, Maria, if that's the case, you might need to go to sleep some more to buy yourself a couple more laps of safety with the 26 car. She 2 laps between the pair of them, but for their best result of the season, the second place. They've had 3 4th place finishes, a 3rd place finish as well, and now looking to go one better. You know what? Roland Zux is flying, but so is Nuno. To the pair of them, just absolutely driving like madmen right now. 3.3 seconds is what Roland Zux took out of Dylan Klaver last time round. Over 3 seconds, Peter. 3 seconds.
That is remarkable. But they know now. They've got a brand new car now, and they only paid, I'm gonna have to say, they only paid a 1 lap penalty for getting a brand new car. It wasn't what they wanted, obviously. They would have wanted to stay in there with the old used car and make it to the end, because they were still in it with a very good chance of winning. But in hindsight, paying a 1 lap penalty for getting a brand new car with a brand new power unit, well, it might still work out for them. At least if they're catching up at this pace.
As I've also been told, it is MotoGP as well today, but I'm seeing MotoGP qualifying. How is it qualifying? It's Sunday.
I guess that's the same thing as how YouTube somehow was insisting earlier on that we were still doing the qualifying session from Friday evening, even though in the titles it was saved as the Spa-Francorchamps 24H race, but still insisted that it was qualifying, as well as restarting the stream just now. Using the same settings, it was certainly insisting that it was the 12 hours of Monza race for some weird reason. So I don't know about YouTube if they're having some issues at the moment. it's not something that we did set up.
So Roland Zux, I'm just waiting for his new lap to come in onto my timing. 2:01.8, nearly 3 seconds faster than Clave. He's gaining. He hasn't set a new fastest lap, but there we go.
As you say that, just realized now that this has changed its streaming profile as well, so the stream quality right now is vastly down on where it should be, so just I have to change that as well. I didn't pay attention to it changing that, so back up in proper quality. Sorry about that. So we may or may not actually have to go offline for just a few seconds again as well to change this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to ask everyone to just stay on the links, stay where you are. The screen's gonna go black. It's gonna last about 5 seconds, and we'll be back again. So hang on to what is it? Hang on, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.